The outer rim of the galaxy was cold and quiet. Most empires did not care about it. There were no major trade routes, no strong colonies, no rich worlds, only darkness and distant stars. For 300 years, one star system sat there on every map. System 7XR91, it had one yellow star and 9 planets. Scans always showed nothing important, no signals, no ships, no life, just empty space. The Carthian Empire finally decided to claim it. To them, it was easy expansion. Fleet Commander Reth stood on the bridge of his flagship Iron Judgment. He was tall, calm, and proud. His empire had ruled for 1,000 years. No one challenged them in this region. "This will be simple," he said. 3 cruisers entered the system. At first, everything looked normal. The star burned quietly in the center. The planets moved in perfect orbit. But then the first strange thing happened. The long-range sensors began to flicker. An officer frowned. "Commander, we are losing outside star signals." Reth looked up. "What do you mean losing?" "The background stars are disappearing from our navigation grid." That made no sense. "Stars do not disappear." Another officer spoke. "Communications with the outer fleet relay are unstable." The bridge grew silent. The system had been scanned many times before. There was no known interference here. Then the main screen flashed. All star maps went black. Not damaged, not broken, just blocked. A single line of text appeared, white letters on a dark screen. "You are trespassing in protected space." No one moved. Protected? Protected by who? Commander Reth felt a cold wave move through him. "This system is unclaimed," he said slowly. "Run identification." The AI searched. Nothing. No empire registration, no defense treaty, no colony record. The message remained. Then, something else happened. Gravitational readings began to change. Energy spikes appeared near the 4th planet. "Zoom in," Reth ordered. The image expanded. At first, it looked like shadows, dark shapes near the planet's rings. Then the shadows moved. They were not rocks. They were ships. Large ships. Hundreds of them. Silent. Still. Hidden behind the planet like hunters waiting in the dark. The bridge crew stopped, breathing. The ships were not Carthian design. They were not any known alien design. Their shape was heavy and solid. No bright colors. No decorative curves. They looked built for one purpose. War. "Identify them," Reth said quietly. The scanner struggled. Then one word appeared. "Human." The room went completely silent. Humans? That was impossible. Humans were divided, weak, always, fighting each other. They had no major empire, they barely held their own systems. They were not capable of hiding a fleet like this. Another message appeared. "You have 10 minutes to leave this system." The letters were calm, no anger, no fear, just a statement. Commander Reth felt insulted. No one warned the Carthian Empire. They were the warning. "This is Commander Reth of the Carthian Empire," he replied. "You are occupying unclaimed space. Identify your authority." There was a pause. Then a human face appeared on the screen. A woman, short dark hair, calm eyes. Military uniform, no visible fear. "This system is under human protection," she said. "You were given notice. Leave now." Her voice was steady. Reth leaned forward. "Humans do not control territory this far from their borders." The woman did not blink. "We do now." Suddenly, more energy readings appeared, not just near the 4th planet. Behind the 5th, inside the asteroid belt, even near the outer gas giant. Ships, more ships. They had been there the whole time, hidden, watching. Reth realized something terrible. The Carthian fleet had not discovered this system. They had been allowed to enter it. The 10-minute timer began to count down on the screen. 9:58, 09:57, 09:56. The bridge officers looked nervous. "Commander," one whispered, "their fleet size is larger than ours." "How much larger?" Reth asked. "Unknown, but at least 5 times our number." 5 times. And those were only the visible ones. Reth felt anger rise inside him. This had to be a trick. Humans could not build something like this without the galaxy noticing, unless they had been hiding. For a very long time. The timer reached 0712. The human admiral spoke again. "We do not seek conflict. This is your final warning." Reth studied the ships on screen. They were not rushed designs. They were organized, positioned with perfect spacing. Defense platforms were visible along the planet's orbit. Shipyards were attached to nearby moons. This was not a temporary base. This was a fortress, and it had been here for years, maybe decades, maybe centuries. "How long have you been here?" Reth asked. The woman answered calmly. "Long enough." The timer reached 0503. Reth opened a private channel to his tactical officer. "If we attack, we would lose, Commander." The answer came too fast, too certain. The officer continued. "Their targeting systems already have us locked." Small red indicators appeared across the Carthian screens. Each cruiser had dozens of target marks. They had been targeted since arrival. The humans had simply chosen not to fire. The timer reached 0240. Reth's pride battled with his survival instinct. Retreat would mean humiliation. Attack would mean destruction. The human admiral spoke one last time. "Your Empire believes the outer rim is empty. It is not." The timer reached 0030. The entire bridge felt heavy. 1,900. Reth clenched his fists. For the first time in his career, he felt uncertainty. 300, 200. The timer stopped. No weapons fired, no explosions, only silence. Then the human admiral said quietly, "You may leave." And the hidden fleet remained in the shadows, watching. Commander Reth slowly gave the order. "All ships, withdraw." As the Carthian fleet turned away, he looked back at the fourth planet. Hundreds of human warships floated in perfect formation, waiting, prepared, disciplined. This system was never empty. It had been hidden, and now the galaxy was about to learn a dangerous truth. Humans had not been weak. They had been preparing, for centuries. The Carthian fleet returned home in silence. No one spoke during the jump back to Imperial space. Commander Reth stood alone on the bridge, staring at the stars. His pride felt heavy. His empire had never been warned like that before. Never. When they reached the capital system, the report spread fast. At first, the High Senate laughed. "Humans?" one senator said. "Impossible. They barely control their own border worlds. They fight among themselves more than anyone else." But Reth did not laugh. He played the recorded footage, the hidden fleets, the defense platforms, the perfect formations, the calm human admiral, and the words, "Long enough." The room slowly became quiet. Then the Empire's intelligence division began searching old records. What they found was strange. 300 years ago, several human colonies disappeared near the outer rim. At the time, everyone believed pirates destroyed them, or that they failed due to lack of supplies. No distress calls were ever found, no wreckage, no bodies, just gone. Back then, humanity was weak compared to major empires. Many believed those lost colonies were proof that humans could not survive deep space. But the truth was something else. At that same time, many alien empires had quietly pressured human expansion. Trade limits, military blockades, political threats. Nothing open, nothing official, just quiet control. Humans were being pushed into a corner, and then they vanished from the outer rim. The galaxy assumed humans gave up. Now it seemed clear. They had not given up. They had gone silent. Far away, inside the hidden star system, the human fleet remained in position. Massive shipyards orbited the fourth. Planet asteroids had been turned into stations. Defense cannons were built into moon surfaces. It was not only a military base, it was a civilization. Cities covered the surface of the second. Planet agricultural domes floated above the third. Mining platforms operated near the gas giant. For 3 centuries, they had built everything themselves. No outside trade, no outside help. In the central command station, Admiral Elena Ward stood before a large window watching the stars. Behind her stood General Marcus Hale. "They reported us," Hale said quietly. "Yes," Elena replied. "They will not ignore this." "I know," Hale crossed his arms. "Should we prepare for war?" Elena did not answer immediately. "We have been preparing for 300 years. The human project had started as an act of survival. Long ago, Earth leaders realized something dangerous. Alien empires saw humans as expandable, not strong enough to fear, not united enough to respect. That made humanity vulnerable. So a decision was made, secretly. A small group of the best engineers, scientists, soldiers, and families left Earth. Not in one fleet, not in one launch. In small waves. Over many years. Each group carried parts of a greater plan. They traveled beyond mapped space, beyond trade routes, beyond patrol zones. And they found a star system rich in resources, perfect for hiding. They built slowly, carefully. Every signal was hidden, every energy spike masked. Ships were constructed inside hollowed asteroids. Engines were tested in deep space far from observation. Children were raised with one lesson. Never forget why we left. They trained not only as citizens, but as defenders. They studied alien tactics, alien weaknesses, alien politics. They learned patience. The galaxy expanded and fought wars and signed treaties, but no one noticed the quiet star system growing stronger in the dark. Back in the present, the Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Representatives from 20 major species attended. Commander Reth stood before them as a witness. "Are you certain?" One ambassador asked. "Yes," Reth replied firmly. "The system is heavily fortified. Their fleet size is significant. Their technology is advanced." "More advanced than ours?" another asked. Reth paused. "In some areas, yes." The room filled with uneasy whispers. For centuries, humans were considered unpredictable but manageable. Now they controlled a full star system beyond the reach of major powers. "How did we not see this?" a council member asked. No one had an answer. Because the truth was uncomfortable. No one looked closely at humanity. They underestimated them. Inside the hidden system, a new problem began to form. Long-range sensors detected something. Multiple warp signatures at the edge of the system. Not one empire, several scouts, spies. The galaxy was watching now. General Hale studied the data. "They are testing our borders." Elena nodded. "They want to measure us." "What do we do?" Elena looked at the map of their defenses. For centuries they stayed hidden. Now they had revealed themselves. There was no going back. "We show them enough," she said. "But not everything." Orders spread across the fleet. Defense satellites adjusted position. Fighter squadrons powered up. Missile arrays aligned. Not aggressive, but visible. Clear. A message was prepared, not a threat, a warning. At the edge of the system, a small alien scout ship slowed down. Its captain stared at the readings, energy signatures everywhere, weapons online, tracking locks. The system was alive with military power. Then a transmission reached them, a calm human voice. "This system is sovereign human territory. You are being monitored. Maintain distance." The scout did not respond. It simply turned around and left. Across the galaxy, more scouts reported the same thing. Human ships did not chase. They did not fire. They simply watched, like guardians or like something waiting. Back at the Galactic Council, fear slowly replaced disbelief. If humans had built this in secret, what else had they built? Were there other systems, other hidden fleets? No one knew, and that uncertainty was worse than open war. Commander Reth stood before the council one final time. "They allowed us to leave," he said. "Why?" someone asked. Reth thought of the human admiral's eyes. Calm, controlled, confident. They wanted us to report what we saw. Silence filled the chamber. The galaxy had just learned something important. Humans were no longer scattered and weak. They were united somewhere, strong somewhere, prepared somewhere, and they had chosen to reveal only one system. The question now was simple. How many more were still hidden in the dark? The galaxy did not trust silence. After the scouts returned, fear began to grow. But fear alone does not stop ambition. Not every empire believed the humans were truly powerful. Some believed it was a bluff. One of them was the Zareth Dominion. The Zareth were aggressive and proud. They respected only strength. When they heard that humans had hidden for centuries, they laughed. If they were strong, their High Marshal said, they would not hide. The Dominion decided to test the system, not with 3 ships, not with scouts, with a battle group. 6 heavy destroyers, 20 attack frigates, hundreds of fighters, enough to force a response. They did not announce their arrival. They entered the human system at high speed. Inside the hidden system, alarms sounded. Red lights flashed across Nova. Terra Command General Marcus Hale looked at the incoming data. Large fleet. Dominion signature. Admiral Elena Ward stepped beside him. They want to measure us. Or provoke us, Hale replied. Elena gave one simple order. Hold fire. The Zareth fleet crossed the outer boundary. Immediately, they felt it. Targeting. Locks. Thousands of them, from every direction. Their sensors showed ships around the 4th planet. Defense platforms near the asteroid belt. Energy cannons charging near the gas giant. But the humans did not attack. The Zareth High Marshal smiled. See? They hesitate. He ordered his destroyers forward. They moved deeper into the system. Still no human fire. Fighters launched from the Zareth carriers and spread out in attack formation. Inside Nova Terra Command, officers waited for the order. Admiral? 1 asked. Elena watched calmly. They have not fired. We will not fire. General Hale frowned. They are approaching defense perimeter. I know. The Zareth fleet reached the orbit of the 5th planet. Their scanners began mapping human installations. Shipyards power. Stations, mining hubs. The High Marshal sent a transmission. A large reptilian face appeared on human screens. You claim this system, he said. Yet you hide like prey. Elena answered without emotion. You are inside sovereign space. Leave. The Marshal laughed. Or what? Silence followed. The Dominion destroyers moved closer to a human mining platform near an asteroid cluster. It was small compared to the warships. Civilian, unarmed. The High Marshal gave a quiet order. 1 warning shot. A Zareth frigate fired. The energy. Blast struck the asteroid near the mining platform. The explosion was bright. Debris scattered. The mining station shook. Inside Nova Terra Command, the atmosphere changed. General Hale's voice became sharp. They fired. Elena's eyes hardened. Yes. Another Zareth shot followed. Closer this time. A direct threat. The Marshal smiled again. Will you hide now, humans? Elena pressed one command on her console. Disable them. The response was instant, not chaotic, not emotional. Precise. From behind the 4th planet, human warships moved. They did not rush forward. They simply shifted position. Then space itself seemed to flash. Not bright explosions, but controlled beams of light. Every Zareth destroyer suddenly lost power. Engines shut down. Weapons offline. Shields gone. Fighters dropped from formation as their systems died. No fireballs, no debris, just silence. The entire Zareth fleet froze in space. Panic spread across their ships. Restore power. Engines unresponsive. Weapons offline. The High Marshal stared at his dead control panel. What did they do? Human ships surrounded them in a wide circle. Calm, organized. Then a human transmission appeared again. Admiral Elena Ward, you fired on civilian infrastructure. Her voice was steady. You are now under human control. The Marshal tried to speak with authority. You attack a Dominion fleet? This means war, Elena replied softly. No. She made another gesture. Suddenly, every Zareth ship regained minimal power, just enough for engines, not weapons. Leave, she said, and understand this. Behind her image, the main screen shifted. It showed something new, beyond the outer gas giant. A massive structure began to decloak. The Zareth sensors struggled to measure it. It was enormous, larger than any single warship in known space. A mobile fortress, covered in weapon arrays, energy levels beyond normal fleet capacity. The High Marshal felt something new. Fear, Elena continued. This is only one defense platform. The screen zoomed out. 2 more identical structures slowly appeared in distant orbit. The Marshal's throat tightened. For 3 centuries, Elena said, we prepared for survival. She paused. Do not test what we prepared for. The Zareth fleet slowly turned, engines weak but functioning. They retreated without another word. Human ships did not follow. They simply watched until the Dominion fleet jumped away. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. The Zareth Dominion had retreated. No damage to human forces. No losses reported. Entire fleet disabled without destruction. That was more terrifying than open battle. At the Galactic Council, silence filled the chamber again. They could have destroyed them, one ambassador whispered. Yes, another replied, but they did not. Commander Reth stood quietly in the corner. He understood something now. Humans were not trying to prove strength. They were showing control, and control was far more dangerous. Back in Nova Terra Command, General Hale exhaled slowly. We showed them the outer layer. Elena nodded. Only the outer layer. He looked at the massive fortress structure still cloaked beyond sensor range. They will not stop watching us. No, Elena agreed. They will watch more carefully now. Hale studied her expression. Do you think war is coming? Elena looked out at the quiet star. For centuries they underestimated us. Her voice lowered. Now they fear what they do not understand. She folded her hands behind her back. And fear makes civilizations unstable. Far beyond their system, alliances were already forming. Some wanted to contain humanity. Some wanted to ally with them. Some wanted to destroy them before they grew stronger. The hidden system was no longer a rumor. It was a power. And the galaxy had just learned something important. Humans did not need to shout. They did not need to invade. They did not need revenge. They only needed patience, and they had plenty of it. Fear spreads faster than war. After the Zareth fleet returned in silence, the balance of the galaxy shifted. The Dominion did not speak about their defeat publicly, but private channels told the truth. Their ships were disabled in seconds, not destroyed. Controlled. That detail scared everyone, because it meant the humans could end fleets without even trying. At the Galactic Council, emergency sessions became daily meetings. 20 empires. 20 different opinions. Some wanted peace, some wanted alliance, some wanted immediate war. The most dangerous voices were the quiet ones. Behind closed doors, 3 major powers met in secret. The Carthian Empire, the Zareth Dominion, and the Valoran. Trade combined. They did not trust each other, but they feared humanity more. We must act now, the Zareth High Marshal said. Before they grow stronger. Commander Reth spoke calmly. We do not know their full strength. That is exactly the problem, the Valoran representative replied. Uncertainty creates instability. After hours of debate, they made a decision. Not open war, not yet. They would test human limits again, but this time, indirectly. Far from Nova Terra, near an unclaimed mining sector, a civilian convoy traveled between systems, cargo ships, refinery, transports, private traders. None of them were military. Suddenly, pirate vessels appeared, fast attack ships with no clear markings. They fired without warning. 2 cargo ships exploded. The rest tried to flee. The pirates moved with unusual precision. Too precise. This was not random crime. This was organized. And hidden inside one cargo ship was something important. Human technology. Small components purchased through legal trade. The pirates destroyed that ship first, then they vanished. Hours later, a distress call reached Nova Terra Command. General Hale listened carefully. "Pirates?" he asked. "Unconfirmed," an officer replied. "But the attack pattern was coordinated." Admiral Elena Ward studied the map. "This sector is far from us." "Yes," Hale said. "But they targeted a ship carrying our trade components." Elena's eyes narrowed slightly. "Someone is testing our reaction." Meanwhile, deep inside Nova Terra, something else was happening. Not all humans agreed with isolation. Not all believed patience was still the right strategy. A small group of younger officers felt different. They had grown up strong. They had never experienced the weakness of the old days. To them, hiding felt unnecessary now. One of them was Captain Aaron Vance. Brilliant, loyal, but impatient. "They provoke us," he said during a closed meeting with other officers. "First scouts, then the Dominion, now trade routes." A young engineer replied. "The Admiral is careful for a reason." Aaron shook his head. "Careful can look weak." Those words were dangerous, because outside the system, 3 empires were hoping for exactly that thought to grow. Back at the Secret Alliance meeting, the Valoran Combine shared new information. "Our agents report growing unrest among younger human officers." The Zareth Marshal smiled slightly. "Division. Commander Reth remained serious. Or evolution," the Valoran leader continued. "If we apply economic pressure and controlled attacks near their trade lines, we may force them to respond aggressively." "And if they do?" Reth asked. "Then the Council will see them as a threat." Silence followed. It was not about defeating humans in battle. It was about shaping the story. If humanity attacked first, the galaxy would unite against them. The plan began quietly. More pirate raids, trade block delays, rumors spread through neutral systems. Humans are expanding. Humans are building secret fleets. Humans are planning domination. None of it confirmed, all of it believable. Fear does not need proof. Inside Nova Terra, Admiral Elena received another report. 3 more trade ships attacked. No survivors this time. General Hale looked frustrated. "They want us angry." "Yes," Elena said softly. "And are we?" he asked. She did not answer immediately. Instead, she requested a full intelligence scan of pirate ship debris recovered from the first attack. Hours later, results arrived. Hidden inside the wreckage of a destroyed pirate engine was a small tracking chip, manufactured by the Valoran Combine. Hale stared at the data. "That is not pirate equipment." "No," Elena replied. "It is political equipment." Hale looked at her carefully. "They are forming an alliance, yes, and trying to make us look dangerous." Elena folded her hands behind her back. "They want us to fire first." Across the galaxy, tension built. Markets fluctuated, military budgets increased, border patrols doubled. The human system remained quiet, but pressure was rising. Then something unexpected happened. A Valoran diplomatic vessel requested entry into Nova Terra. Space official visit public. The first formal contact request. General Hale frowned. "A trap? Possibly," Elena said. "But refusing could look hostile." The council chamber inside Nova Terra prepared for guests for the first time in centuries. When the Valoran delegation arrived, they acted polite, respectful, curious, but their questions were sharp. "How many defense platforms do you operate? Do you plan expansion beyond this system? What are your long-term military goals?" Elena answered carefully. "We defend what is ours, nothing more, nothing less." But during the visit, something small happened. Very small, almost invisible. Data probe was planted inside one of the docking stations, a silent attempt to scan deeper system networks. However, Nova Terra security noticed immediately. They did not expose it publicly. They traced it. Back to its source, Valoran command systems. Now the truth was clear. This was not fear alone. This was coordination, a quiet alliance forming in the shadows. That night, General Hale stood beside Elena in the observation deck. They are moving carefully, he said. Yes. They want to surround us politically. Yes. And if that fails? Elena looked toward the stars beyond their system. Then they will try something bigger. Hale studied her expression. Are we ready? She answered without hesitation. We were ready 300 years ago, she paused. But readiness does not mean we rush. Outside, human fleets continued their silent patrols. Defense platforms rotated slowly. The massive, hidden fortress structures remained cloaked beyond detection range. But something had changed. This was no longer about defending one system. This was about controlling the story of humanity's return. Some wanted them as allies, some wanted them as enemies, some wanted them erased before they grew unstoppable. And deep inside Nova Terra, young officers like Captain Aaron Vance were beginning to question patience, which meant the greatest threat might not come from outside the system, but from within. Pressure changes people. For 3 centuries, Nova Terra had one clear mission: survive, prepare, stay hidden. But now they were no longer hidden. They were visible, watched, measured, and slowly surrounded. Inside the military academy of Nova Terra, young officers studied battle simulations. They were raised in strength. They never knew weakness. They never saw Earth struggle. To them, humanity was powerful, unstoppable. Captain Aaron Vance stood in a private strategy room with a small group of trusted officers. On the screen was a map of nearby systems. Red markers showed pirate attacks, trade harassment, political movements from the Valoran Combine. They are choking us slowly, Aaron said. They want us quiet, defensive, careful. One officer replied, Admiral Ward believes patience keeps us strong. Aaron nodded. She is not wrong. But patience can also invite control. He zoomed in on one system, a Valoran fuel depot near the border of neutral space. That depot supports the ships harassing our trade, Aaron said. If it suddenly failed, their operations would stop. The room grew silent. You mean attack? Someone asked. Aaron did not smile. I mean send a message. At the same time, Admiral Elena Ward received new intelligence. The secret alliance was no longer subtle. Carthian patrols were increasing near Nova Terra space. Zareth fleets were running war drills close to the outer rim. Valoran trade sanctions were quietly limiting human access to rare materials. It was a slow squeeze. General Hale stood beside her. They are building a legal reason to call us unstable. Yes, Elena said. If we react aggressively, the Council unites against us. And if we stay passive, they tighten the pressure. Hale looked at her carefully. So what is the move? Elena looked at the star burning outside the station window. We wait for them to make a mistake. But someone inside Nova Terra was tired of waiting. Captain Aaron Vance accessed restricted fleet codes late at night. He did not disable security. He did not steal anything. He only adjusted. Patrol timing. A small task force of 3 stealth ships would be near neutral space for routine scanning. No alarms triggered. No suspicion raised. The ships launched quietly. Their destination, the Valoran fuel depot. Days later, in Valoran territory, the fuel depot floated near a gas giant. It supplied military vessels that operated near human trade lines. It was heavily guarded, but not prepared for something new. The 3 human stealth ships did not fire weapons. They deployed small drones. Silent, invisible to normal scanners. The drones attached to the depot's outer structure. Not explosives. Signal, disruptors. When activated, the depot's power grid began to fail. At first, engineers thought it was a system malfunction. Then fuel transfer pumps stopped. Navigation beacons went offline. Ships waiting for refueling drifted helplessly. Within 2 hours, the depot was completely disabled. No explosions. No deaths, but fully paralyzed, and before leaving, the human ships transmitted one message, not official, not signed, just words. Harassment has consequences. Then they vanished. Back at Nova Terra, Admiral Elena received the news. She did not look surprised. but her eyes hardened. "Trace the origin," she ordered. Within minutes, the truth appeared. Unauthorized patrol adjustment. Captain Aaron Vance. General Hale felt anger rise. He acted without approval. "Yes," Elena replied quietly, "but he acted effectively." Hale looked at her. "That does not make it acceptable." "No," she agreed. "It makes it dangerous." Across the galaxy, the Valoran Combine reacted with fury. "This is an act of aggression," their leader declared at the council. The Carthians supported them immediately. The Zareth Dominion demanded punishment. "This proves human expansionist intent," the Valoran representative said loudly. But there was a problem. The depot was not destroyed. No casualties, no clear evidence. Just a technical failure with a mysterious message. The Galactic Council was divided. Some members whispered privately. If humans wanted war, they would have destroyed it. They showed restraint. That makes them even more controlled. Fear was growing again. Not because humans were violent, but because they were precise. Inside Nova Terra, Captain Aaron Vance stood before Admiral Ward. He did not deny it. "I authorized the mission," he said calmly. "Why?" Elena asked. "They were escalating. I responded proportionally." "You acted outside command." "Yes." Silence filled the room. General Hale expected punishment, arrest, removal of rank. Instead, Elena asked one question. "Did you intend to start a war?" "No." "Did you ensure zero casualties?" "Yes." "Did you expose our full capability?" "No." Elena studied him carefully. "You are not wrong about pressure," she said, "but strength without discipline becomes chaos." Aaron lowered, his eyes slightly. "Yes, Admiral." She stepped closer. "We survived 3 centuries because we act as one, not as individuals." He nodded. "I understand." She paused. "For now you will remain in command, but under direct oversight." Hale looked surprised. "You're keeping him active?" Elena answered calmly. "The galaxy must see unity, not division." Meanwhile, something bigger was happening. The secret alliance met again. The Valoran leader was furious. "They struck inside our territory." Commander Reth remained thoughtful. "They disabled infrastructure, nothing more. That is enough." The Zareth Marshal growled. But Reth had noticed something. "They did not deny involvement." The Valoran representative frowned. "What are you implying?" Reth leaned forward. "They want us uncertain." He looked at both leaders. "They are. Showing they can reach us without escalation." Silence followed. The humans were not reacting emotionally. They were controlling the temperature, raising it slowly, carefully. That was more dangerous than open war. Back in Nova Terra, long-range sensors detected something new. Not fleets, not scouts. Something massive. Warp signatures far beyond normal fleet scale, multiple points, different directions. General Hale stared at the readings. "This is coordinated." Elena nodded slowly. "They are done testing." On the main screen, 3 separate Alliance fleets were forming at different jump points. Carthian.Zareth, Valoran. Not attacking yet, but positioning, surrounding. The galaxy was holding its breath, and inside Nova Terra, the human fleets began to move. Not in panic, not in fear, in perfect order. The massive hidden fortress structures powered up fully for the first time. Energy levels spiked across the system. Captain Aaron Vance stood at his station. Focused, disciplined, waiting. For 3 centuries, humanity prepared in silence. Now the silence was ending, and the real question was no longer, are humans strong? The real question was, how strong? The Alliance fleets did not rush. They moved slowly, carefully. 3 directions, 3 major powers. Carthian war cruisers formed a heavy wall on the left side of the system. Zareth destroyers gathered near the outer asteroid belt. Valoran carrier, groups positioned far behind, protected and ready. It was not an invasion yet. It was pressure, a message without words. Inside Nova Terra Command, every screen showed fleet movement. General Hale watched quietly. They are surrounding us. Yes, Admiral Elena Ward replied, but they are still outside sovereign boundary. They want us to fire first. Elena nodded. Let them wait. Human fleets moved into defensive formation, ships aligned in layered circles around key planets. Defense platforms rotated into firing angles. The massive hidden fortress structures fully decloaked for the first time. Across Alliance sensors, shock spread instantly. The fortresses were larger than predicted. Each one carried enough firepower to destroy a fleet alone. And there were not 3. There were 6, hidden across the system. Energy readings climbed higher. Still, humans did not attack. Hours passed. The Alliance fleets held position. Then a transmission arrived from the Carthian flagship. Commander Reth appeared on screen. Behind him stood Zareth and Valoran representatives. This concentration of military power threatens galactic stability, Reth said. Elena appeared in response. Her uniform was simple, her expression calm. You approached our borders with combined fleets, she said. Reth did not react. You have acted beyond your original defensive posture, Elena answered clearly. For 3 centuries, we built inside our system. We attacked no one, the Zareth Marshal interrupted. You disabled Valoran infrastructure. You harassed our civilian trade, Elena replied instantly. Silence followed. The Valoran representative spoke next. The Council demands transparency. How many systems do you control? Elena did not hesitate. 1. Murmurs spread among Alliance bridges. Reth narrowed his eyes slightly. Only 1? Yes. She paused. But 1 is enough. Suddenly, sensors across the Alliance fleets detected a massive energy surge. All weapons locked automatically. Pilots prepared for impact. But no attack came. Instead, something impossible happened. Space bent. Not from warp drive. Not from weapons. From something deeper. At the center of the human system, near the star itself, a massive structure began to rise from solar orbit. It was not a ship, not a station. It was a ring, a gigantic metallic ring slowly expanding around the star. Alliance scanners struggled to understand it. Energy readings were beyond military scale. General, Hale spoke quietly inside Nova Terra Command. Solar harness fully active. Elena nodded. For centuries, humanity had not only built fleets, they had built power, true power. The ring around the star glowed softly. It was a stellar energy array, capable of feeding every defense system, every fortress, every ship, unlimited supply. The message was clear. Human defenses could operate forever. No fuel shortage, no slow weakening, no waiting them out. The Alliance commanders felt something heavy settle in their thoughts. This was not just a fortress system, it was self-sustaining, permanent. Elena spoke again. We did not hide because we were weak. Her voice carried across every channel. We hid because you were watching, she continued. You believed humans divided themselves too much to unite. She paused. You were correct. Silence. Until we faced extinction. The Alliance fleets remained frozen in space, not from weapons, from understanding. For 3 centuries, Elena said, we removed division. We removed ego. We removed short-term thinking. Behind her, human fleets held perfect formation, disciplined, still. We built one system, she said, not to conquer the galaxy. Her eyes hardened slightly, but to ensure no one could ever threaten us again. The Zareth Marshal growled softly. You expect us to accept this level of military concentration? Elena answered calmly. You already have. Another energy pulse moved through the system. This time, Alliance ships felt it directly. Every targeting lock they had on Nova Terra vanished, not disabled, overwritten. Human systems had accessed Alliance fire control grids remotely, not to destroy, but to demonstrate. Their weapons were now locked on nothing. Human targeting, locks replaced them silently. Thousands. Precise. Controlled. The message was unmistakable. The Alliance fleets were vulnerable. Completely. And the humans had not fired a single shot. Commander Reth closed his eyes briefly. He understood. If humans wanted war, this moment would have been the beginning. Instead, it was something else, a statement. He opened a private channel to the Alliance leaders. "We cannot win this without total war," he said quietly. And total war would destroy half the galaxy. The Valoran leader hesitated. "They are too centralized." "Yes," Reth replied, "and too prepared." The Zareth Marshal remained silent. Pride battled logic, but even he could see the truth. The humans were not aggressive. They were immovable. There is a difference. Back on the main channel, Reth spoke again. "We acknowledge your sovereignty over this system." Elena gave a small nod. "We acknowledge your right to approach our borders." It was not friendship, not alliance, but it was balance. Slowly, one by one, the Alliance fleets powered down weapons. They began to retreat. No cheers, no victory celebrations, just quiet withdrawal. Across the galaxy, observers recorded everything. Humanity had not conquered, had not attacked, had not demanded territory. They had done something more powerful. They had made war pointless. Inside Nova Terra Command, General Hale exhaled slowly. "It's over." Elena shook her head slightly. "No." She looked at the glowing star encircled by the massive energy ring. "It is beginning." Captain Aaron Vance stood nearby. He watched the Alliance fleets jump away. "For centuries," he said quietly, "we prepared for war." Elena looked at him. "Yes. And today?" "Today," she said, "the galaxy learned why." She turned toward the command floor. "Maintain defensive posture. Open limited diplomatic channels." Hale looked surprised. "You want diplomacy?" Elena allowed a faint smile. Strength creates choice. Outside, the 6 fortress platforms slowly dimmed their visible glow. The star burned steadily inside its massive ring. Human fleets returned to silent patrol. Calm, disciplined. Ready. Across the galaxy, one truth settled into every government chamber. Humans had not emerged to conquer. They had emerged to exist without fear, and that was something no empire could control. The outer rim was no longer empty. It was anchored by a species that had once been underestimated, hidden for centuries, now impossible to ignore.